Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is safe and healthy and that your families are doing well. I unfortunately am not able to join you guys just yet, but Bill had this really great idea that instead of typing up some notes, I could create a video that would enable me to share some thoughts around the around instruction in classics in our community. My neighbor's dog, if you can hear it in the background, I'm sorry. It happens, but just ignore. So I think I want to start by just kind of being frank, and being honest and saying that the classics has a bad rap. I think that you know, even as I continue to read and analyze and discuss and build ideas and conclusions and break those down and rebuild them outside of what I would describe as my quixotic experience in the classics, the bad rep really persists. But for a few minutes, I'm going to speak on behalf of classics, who I see as this misunderstood kid that everybody's kind of just had it up to here with. I'm going to spend some time advocating for classics this morning. So please trust me when I say that I understand that there are some very specific reasons why why people might not be in favor, why they might be skeptical about the classics. And I think especially in the diaspora and even more specifically in the African American community, there's a skepticism, right? Like that is not for us. It's not going to help us. It's not going to be helpful for us. I think one of the reasons is the proximity of these works to the language of some detrimentally oppressive individuals and groups over the years who have used the works. I shouldn't say used, they've misused them and exploited them for their own benefit. And for too many people, the proximity between those individuals or groups and classics, it's too close for comfort. So I think we get to a situation where tons of misconceptions about these thinkers and their ideas are formulated and perpetuated, which inadvertently breeds a mistrust in the classics, right? But bringing it back to bringing it to Washington Latin, you know, if we're still being honest, it's not really like us to react in that way without proper investigation. We do not tend to just nix people and or ideas because there may be some imperfections. That's not who we are. We question, we try to find the good in things and in people. And so I have to wonder, at what point as a community will we acknowledge the misuse, the misuse of and the faults in the works and their creators, and then allow ourselves the freedom to separate the messages from the messengers, to determine for ourselves if there's actually something viable there, something special and real and possibly worthy of our time and our care and our effort. You know, I think at some point we have to get to that point where we can decide for ourselves and for the sake of our students, is this worth it? And I think it is, in case you couldn't tell. But I also understand that you may be thinking, But this stuff isn't relevant to our blank kids or their lives. And you can fill in the blank. Low income, at risk, struggling, black, special needs, Hispanic, whatever, fill in the blank, right? This stuff isn't relevant to them. They're not going to connect to it. And to a point, I agree. Like why should we spend time with this, especially when we have kids who are going to need so much of us, right? There's no version of this discussion where I promote the eradication or the minimization of instruction in conventional subject areas for classics. And there's definitely no version of this discussion where I promote not doing whatever we have to make sure everybody in our school, every student in our school gets what they need in order to be functional in society. What I'm saying to you all is I believe that this element of character education that the classics inherently brings to the table is a glaringly missing link. A link that could help to tie everything else together and create students who really are ready to face the world. If we take a second to think about the points in the world's history when people displayed their worst selves, slavery, oppression, genocide, war, we can catalog any number of causes for these actions. And I know that you guys will agree that one item that makes all of those lists is a lack of a sense of shared humanity. In the video that you guys recently watched from Dr. Prather, she mentions that it can feel really strange to engage in conversations now that don't revolve around race, right? In which conversations in which race is not a central component. Sometimes there might even be a guilt, right? Like, shouldn't I be talking about that? Like, shouldn't we really be trying to figure out how to address those problems? And I'm saying to you that yes, we should. And I believe that instruction in the area of classics is the glaringly missing link that enables us to impart this kind of knowledge to our students. I think that we have a unique opportunity through classics to release ourselves from the societal shackles that Dr. Prather references, and to just kind of break away from the constructs that divide us, and focus on the humanity that we share. In a time, both globally and personally, where it's been hard to sustain hope, these works have given me an anchor, something to hold on to, some foundational truths that really have some substance. And I don't think it's a bad idea at all for everybody to have a piece of that. I've gone way over the time that Bill allotted me, so I'm just gonna close off now. I'm sorry. You guys, the classical committee, you have a say, a direct say in what classics looks like at our school. And I want to ask you to find a way to give the classics, again, this complicated and misunderstood kid, and just infuriating in some ways, to give classics a fighting chance to maximize its full potential in us, in our students, and in our community. I think, and I ask of you to find ways for the classics to be used, I think, as they were intended, to help us revolutionize thought and to bring us together under this umbrella of shared humanity. Thank you, guys.